Welcome to Mindful Management, Neuroscience and Effective Workplace Leadership. Over my years as a consultant, I've listened to managers muse from time to time about their ideal staff or workforce. Inevitably, they describe one that makes it easier for them to be managers. One way or another, they say they want people who are predictable, who will do what they're asked to do when it's required, productive, meet or exceed work goals, purposeful, be committed to the larger goals of the organization, and peaceful, who get along reasonably well. And why do they want this? Because they know that these 4 Ps drive profitability in private sector organizations, or the effective use of resources in public sector organizations. They also drive customer satisfaction and employee retention. In this seminar, we'll start by reviewing key research findings that show how people are wired to be the productive and motivated workforce that managers want. What managers need to do is create the conditions where employees can release the power contained in their self-motivating neural circuitry. We have lots of data describing those conditions and showing that employees find them in relatively few workplaces. Why is that? As some authors ask, after years of study, since what needs to be done seems so obvious, why don't more managers do it? Well, to do that, we'd have to rise above our traditional understanding of what motivates employees, which in turn requires us to come to an understanding of how our minds work. Yes, I said the word minds, because 30 years of neuroscientific research based on scanning the brain in operation has demonstrated clearly that we have 2 minds, not one, rational and emotional, that automatically work together to create our reality. And, contrary to our traditional views, our emotional mind drives our rational thought, not the other way around. Our notions about what motivates people are buried deeply in the long-term memories of our emotional mind. We take them for granted as facts of life. As a result, they're hard to change, just like our conceptions of what it takes to be a leader. Over and over again, when asked about the traits of an effective leader, the words that most often occur to people are intelligence and dominance. Since a key aspect of managerial leadership is motivating others, one would think that words describing social skills would be important. They never make the cut. I believe that if we come to a clearer understanding of how our minds and the minds of our staff work, we can figure out how to do the right things to motivate them, as well as discovering the socially skillful talk that we need to get through 2 complicated situations that can undermine motivation. First, where people haven't behaved in ways we expected, and where our first reactions can make things worse rather than better. And second, in situations where we have to lead others through change. Change stimulates negative emotions in everyone, but when we understand how our minds work, we can learn how to reduce those feelings of threat and evoke people's positive emotional energy to help them move forward. In many ways, our managerial lives recall an old songline, "It's not what you say, but the way that you say it." And this truth reflects our 2 minds in action as we process face-to-face talk at several levels simultaneously. So consciously knowing what to say and how and when to say it can make a great deal of difference to how well we manage ourselves and others in every situation, but particularly in the difficult ones. And finally, understanding the interlocking operations of our 2 minds can reveal the problems that we make for ourselves in the way we create and handle stress in our lives. This seminar will demonstrate what we can do to help ourselves live better, healthier mental lives. Because the truth is that if we don't mind our own minds, we won't have the positive energy or focus to lead the minds of others and create the conditions for them to become the motivated and productive workforce we yearn for. Come to this seminar. Let me open you up to the leader's mind, your mind.